Lane Kiffin believes that Brent Venables is stealing signs, and Venables takes that as a compliment. Let's talk about what Kiffin said and why Brent Venables is choosing to take sign stealing as a compliment. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Would you take sign stealing as a compliment if you are Brent Venables? Because he is. So this got started with Lane Kiffin addressing how he is preparing his team to go on the road to play Oklahoma in what is going to be a pivotal SEC matchup that has college football playoff implications. I believe that Oklahoma needs to win this game to stay in the college football playoff hunt, whereas Ole Miss has the loss to Georgia, who might end up being in the SEC championship game. We'll see. A lot of moving and shaking has to go, but their loss to Georgia isn't as bad as Oklahoma's loss to Texas. But if Texas runs the table, these things could all cancel out. Either way, the loser of this game might be on the outside looking in, very much on the bubble to make the playoff. Meanwhile, the winner of this game gets back into the top 10, where Ole Miss already is. And for Oklahoma, it solidifies a place in the top 10, at least going into next week. And remember, every single opponent the Sooners have left is a ranked one inside the top 16 of the AP top 25. One of the, if not the toughest schedule for the second half of the sport, period. So Kiffin said, look, I think Venables has been really good at stealing signs, going back to his days at Clemson. But he also said when you watch the Auburn tape, you could see they were doing things that are uncharacteristic of a defense unless they know what the play call is. For instance, they had safeties that were dropping down to take away slant routes. And he said that's uncharacteristic unless you know the ball is likely to go there, because obviously you don't want to risk that safety getting beat and then you got a wide receiver over the top with nobody to help. Against Auburn, I see what he means, but you also are running an RPO offense, and you're also taking on the characteristics of the quarterback. So some of this is the play call. So let's say it is a basic RPO, which is we're going to read the end and we're going to read, or the linebacker, probably both, right? Because you got that guy in a 4'9" or even a 4'7" technique. And if he crashes down, right, you can pull it and you can flip it. You can run yourself. A lot of things you could do here. But if you want to crash that, if that linebacker comes and you send the safety to replace him, safety's arriving right when the ball does, right? I think that's one of the ways in which you can read this. The other way I read this is if I know the quarterback has not thrown the ball anywhere else on this sort of a play call, or that he is unlikely to throw the go route that might be going on the outside, or might even not look to his left if the play is slant running to right to left. He might not even just go over here, right? There's so many things that you could take from tendencies. And the tendencies of play call is one thing, but the tendencies of the guy throwing the football are just as important. And we know that Jackson Arnold was not really interested in throwing the football way downfield. He wanted to get rid of the football quick, fast, and in a hurry, take advantage of his legs when he can. And if it was there, he's going to throw it, which is a pre-snap read, right? And if you're going off a pre-snap read, I give my safeties the opportunity to make a post-snap adjustment and go get the football. Venables has been very good about that. And I've always thought it was kind of the secret sauce, if you will, to what he's been able to do as a defensive coordinator. But he also said, look, I take this as a compliment. Like he said, coming from Lane, that means that we're very prepared, we're very much prepared. We're detail oriented. We're relentless. He gave the coach jargon there, but he also said, honestly, I don't know of a team that hasn't huddled against Oklahoma. I think every single team we've played the last 2 years has huddled. And so between that and the helmet communication, and he said, I don't know how that works, which is wild, but we got enough to worry about just getting our guys lined up with the right call and things of that nature. But I guess I'll take that as a kind of weird compliment, or our guys must have looked pretty good on film. Everybody knows that Brent Venables chews film, and everybody knows that Brent Venables also is going to study your sideline. He's going to teach other guys how to study your sideline. And if they can take off your signals, fair game. As long as you're not videotaping the opponent's signals in the stands and then taking them home to decipher them on your television, we're going to say fair play. It's like baseball. If your signs are easy enough for me to steal, I'm going to steal them, and I'm a catcher, right? That's for what I do. I need to codify my signs. Coach needs to codify his signs. All these things have ways of being broken and interpreted. The more times you got to throw those things in there. And when you got just 2 or 3 guys on the sideline, making the signs, you can more or less try to figure out with enough viewing who's doing what and where the play call is coming from, and then what the play call is. Because once you had the signifier, right? As soon as you have that, you can break open whatever it is that is going on across the sideline. This is same true. Like, we got one indicator. Like, as catcher, I got one indicator. When you see the indicator, it might be the second, it might be the third, it might be the fifth sign you see, but everybody's got to be on the same page there. But if it can be built, it can be broken. That's what I think this is. I am always fascinated when coaches go out of their way to say they're stealing signals, because I'm like, hey, look, use the helmet to coach communication, dog. Put your play card up over your mouth and say what it is. That's why we brought this in here. But if you're still sending in signals, we got that to contend with. Now, one of the reasons that you're always sending in signals is you can't always hear in this thing because crowd noise is affecting. And Kiffin's offense wants to go fast. And when you want to go fast, you're either giving 2 play calls at once for the follow, or in the same line of scrimmage where you can get to one out of the other, or you're going downfield and you're going at warp speed. So you're looking to the sideline to see what the next play call is going to be. So everybody gets lined up and you go as soon as the referee puts the ball down. You don't have to substitute. You're impacting the way that Lane Kiffin wants to run tempo. And that is why Brent Venables is going, hey, people huddle against us. Because you don't want to take the chance that they know what's coming and they can get into a space where they know what's coming as quickly as you can get into a space to run it. And usually when you're going at warp speed, you got about 5, maybe 6 play calls that you want to run through, because you don't want your players to have to think out there. You want them to go see, point and shoot, as I used to say when I was teaching folks how to shoot pistol, right? It was, we're going to go through our system. We're going to go through our technique. We're going to go through our exercise, and we're going to get to where we don't need to even think about it. Point and shoot. That's what we want, right? That's what it comes down to. Point and shoot. When you can do that as an offense, you get to do some of the things that Ole Miss has been able to do. What Brent Venables has been really good at doing is just disrupting that. And I really enjoy it. So I would take it as a compliment too. After all, it's Oklahoma. It's not Michigan.